There we go. So yeah, today we'll talk about SEO, and really what we want to get into is I want to help you understand, some of the foundational principles of SEO and how we approach that as a company. And one of the things that you may have noticed from our conversation with Rob is he mentioned there's a real change going on in the paradigm of how SEO is delivered from what it was even a year ago. That it used to be that there were a lot of, black magic types of things that you do. They're little secret, trade things that you do to get yourself recognized. I think I'm good. And so that could be taking a page of content, and if I'm trying to be found for social media management, I write social media management 11,000 times on that page, and I can be found more effectively. Well, the search engines have become sophisticated enough that type of those types of activities are actually starting to penalize companies, or things that we used to see, link farms where you could purchase into a network that would just post a link to your website out on 1,000 different websites where it would live there, in perpetuity. Those are now starting to elicit some spam penalties on websites. In fact, I met with a company just 2 weeks ago that they came to us because their previous SEO company had got their website hit with some spam penalties. So the way that SEO is changing is it's going more and more towards a content-based model of writing pieces of content that are relevant to an industry, posting those in a place on a website where it can be found by those web crawlers, so you can now be organically searched in a lot of different ways. We're also seeing a lot more of pay-per-click advertising or Google AdWords advertising to move somebody up the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you here. All right, let me just go over and we'll search for like collision repair. Okay, so if I'm going to run a typical Google search, I want to walk you through really what the search engine sees, or how it's formatted, because this matters a lot when it comes to recommending an SEO strategy or trying to employ the right search engine optimization strategies for a business. So if I search for collision repair, what happens is immediately up at the top, this is category number 1, okay? At the top is all of your paid placement. And there's a reason why it's at the top. For those of you who used to remember Ben Hart, who was cantankerous yet very clever at this stuff, he always used to say, follow the money in search engine optimization. It's the same as politics. You follow the money. And when it comes to pay-per-click advertising, these search engines want to monetize their business in the same way that we want to sell product. So they're going to give the highest preference and priority to those that are paying to be found for certain search terms. Now, these ads that came up, they are directly related to whomever bid for collision repair for their advertisement. So if I'm an advertiser, I go in and I say, I would like to bid $12 per click for anyone who searches collision repair. And so we might have a person here at the top. Whoops. If I can, there we go. So this person up at the top may have bid $60 per click, and this person may have bid $45 per click, and there may be some people who aren't even being shown that bid $5 a click. Okay, so it's all based upon this little game of bidding the right amounts to get the right visibility, or bidding based on I want X number of thousand people to see my post, and I'll pay Google to show my ad to X thousand of people. So that's category 1. Now we move down to category 2. This is local SEO, or Google Places. We hear it referred to a lot that way, but these are based upon my geographic location. So if I ran this search in, in Florida or in Maine or in California, wherever it happens to be, these are going to be different depending on my IP address, okay, or where my computer is located. This is very important because these are also the results that come up on an iPhone or iPad or on your car navigation system. They are all dependent upon your location, okay? Many of our services are based around this, okay, that portion. You'll see addresses, and if they have a Google Plus page, you'll see that on here as well, website directions. Then we come down to the category 3, which are keyword-based or organic SEO. You'll most often hear organic SEO as the term that's used, but these are ones that are based upon search terms. So take a look at this. So I search for collision repair. Everest Collision Repair Sandy is an auto body repair, collision repair, and paint repair shop. Okay, so we see collision repair there. Got it? This text, which I know that Sherry has to answer this question all the time because it shows up on social media as well, in Facebook, that if I link to Everest Collision Repair on Facebook, this is automatically going to pull in because this is something called metadata, okay? If you ever want to sound smart in a SEO conversation, just use the word metadata. But that's a very important piece of search engine optimization. It has declined a little bit in significance over the years, but it still is significant. But you'll notice the keyword collision repair was listed there, or Jack's Place provisional collision repair, okay? It's written there as well, okay? It's all based upon keywords on a regional or national level, okay? So those are the 3 areas. So for us as Social 5, when we sell a package, we have 3 sets of packages. Well, we have 2 major sets of packages. We have an SEO local or location-based, okay? And then we have an SEO online, which is our organic keywords. And if you buy into a high enough package, you can have paid advertising, or you can buy something called the target package, which is a Google AdWords package as well to hit this top section. Our goal is to have 3 different packages to solve those 3 different issues. So if I go in, and I'm just going to pull up, let's see if I've got the rate card handy. So I just want to show you how those play out online. And then I'll show you a few tricks too that you can go in and be able to understand a little bit more about that SEO. Okay, so what I'm pulling up is these are all of our gazillions of rate cards. We have 13 different standalone products, but if I come into launch, for instance, what you're going to see is, notice it says launch location. Okay, so we're trying to hit those geo-targeted SEO keywords by getting you listed in a lot of directories. So when it comes down to being found online, let's see, so I'm going to come back here. In this case, we are now wanting to be found for collision repair on Google. But I could also go to Yahoo, okay, and search for collision repair. Okay, and I need to be able to be found in collision repair because now you'll notice these ads are all different, the listings are all different. It depends on what search engine you're using. Or if you're using like an iPhone, many of the browsers default to Bing. Okay, so am I being found for collision repair on Bing? Or what if I'm going to yellowpages.com or MapQuest? All of these have their own independent directories to be found. So I've had people say to me, well, wait a minute, do I really need to be listed in 100 different directories? Well, good question. Google is definitely the big one. Yahoo and Bing are right behind it. But how many people search for a business on Yelp or MapQuest, or that they're driving down the road in their Ford or BMW, and they use their navigation system to find a business? Are you going to be there when they say I'm hungry or looking for a gym or whatever it happens to be? Can you be found for those local listings? Okay. So I'm just going to come back here. All right. So let me pull up those rate cards. So launch location deals with how can I be found online. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I'm not seeing the rate card. Is everybody else seeing it?
Oh, let me see if I.
Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that one up.
There we go.
That's right. Good, good. All right. So you'll notice here on the launch location, we focus on, and this is a little bit hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. Mobile directories. So, BlackBerry is still on there if it's still alive. So BlackBerry, it could be, Apple, Android phone, Samsung, Sprint. We focus on mobile directories first. Then we go to local directories that change according to your geography, but it could be Yelp, it could be Yellow Pages, Dex Online. Oh, and looks like my internet connection, hopefully that stays okay. Just a moment there. Okay, let's see if that works better. Okay, so we have local directories, GPS maps, and this could be Google Maps, it could be OnStar, MapQuest, and then in-car directories, and this is working directly with the manufacturers. You see Subaru and Toyota and Kia being able to tie that business information into those sites. Okay, so that's dealing with local. Now, if we come down, you'll see now we have launch online. Okay, now launch online is more expensive. Instead of $150, it's now $600, and we're focusing on something entirely different. We're looking at how to optimize a website. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what optimizing a website looks like. So we hear about website optimization, off-site optimization, and then SEO content. So I always wondered, what in the heck do they do on a website to make it optimized? Okay, so what we'll do, I'll pull up a site. I'll go to Cascade Collision, CascadeCollision.com, which is Cascade Collision is run by a guy named Brian Nichols, who is one of my partners, and we started this company under a different name, under Collision Guard. It was meant to be for automotive companies initially. So this is his website. So one of the things that we look for is, first of all, we want to check out their metadata and see what keywords are search engines actually seeing behind the scenes in looking and evaluating a website. So this is interesting. If you go to a website and go under View, and there's a Developer tab, okay? If I go to View Source, now what happens is I can see what the search engines see, okay? So you'll see some of the code behind the website. Well, what you can do is do a Command F and search for meta, okay? Because that leads you into your meta tags and metadata on your site. Okay, and so what we'll want to look for is our meta keywords and meta titles and meta description. So I'll come down, oh, here we go. The metadata is, the description is, looking for a reliable auto body repair shop that you can trust. We are serious about perfection. Give us a call. Okay. So now if I were to put a link to Cascade Collision on Facebook, guess what it's going to pull? That meta description is going to appear there. And Sherry has to answer this question for customers all the time because they're like, hey, well, there's a misspelling in that description, or I don't like that description. Well, just put into your website. Okay. And as you go down, you're going to see some other things. And let me see. So we have a meta description. We should see some meta keywords. These words here are going to be searched by search engines. So auto body repair will be searched. It'll be discoverable for that. Now, ideally, they're going to have keywords. Let's see if we can find those. Oh, and they don't. So this is one part that their SEO, it may be good for them to add. Now, they do have some titles for auto body and collision repair shop, okay? But keywords would be collision repair, crash prevention, auto body work, those types of things you want to be found for. So that is looking behind the scenes at, first of all, we will look at their site and update that metadata for a customer. Okay. All right. So now the next part, that's the first part of website optimization. The next part is you want to look at the content of the site. So if I go into the About section, okay, so here we have some text about Cascade Collision. Now the question is does the text include any keywords you want to be found for? Okay, so Cascade Collision Repair, good that we have that in there. But do we have collision repair in other places? Generally, you want to have a certain density of keywords. You also want to make sure that whatever your headline is here matches what your text is here. Okay, so an About section doesn't matter quite as much, but like, let's say I go under services, the headline is auto body repair. Now, yes?
I don't know about everybody else, but it hasn't switched out on my side.
Are you still seeing the rate card?
The rate card.
Oh, yeah. Crap. So you didn't see all the magic that was going on?
No.
Oh, I was following it myself in my browser, trying to learn how to do it, so I didn't even notice.
Weird. I wonder what's happening to I wonder why my screen isn't changing. So you know what? If I change, I'll just tell you when I change slides, so you can see that, because I want to make sure that because this is stuff that is easier seen than just listened to. All right. So whoops, Cascade. So I'll just reinforce that a little bit here as I come to Cascade Collision. Now you go up to your view, down to developer. You see that here? And then developer tool, view source, sorry, view source. Now take a look here what happens. Okay, so now you're seeing the coding behind the scenes. Okay, and when I search for meta there, I did a Command F. Now you'll see where these pop up. Okay, and here was the description that we were talking about. Okay, that it actually pulls in on those pages. Okay, so it looks super scary, but really easy to find where it's at in the site. And if we have access to a customer's website, we can change and update all of this information. Okay, so that's how we get in and do that. That's a first step. Now as we come in to their content, I'll go under services and auto body repair, because we want to have what we call keyword alignment with the content that's on these pages. Because really search engines want to know what the page is about and have supporting content that validates those findings. So we see a headline is auto body repair. Now we come down to the subheading, and notice we also have auto body repair here. Okay, if we go down to the first paragraph, Cascade Collision Repair has been providing high quality auto repair services. Okay, auto repair company. Okay, so you'll see it again here. This is keyword density in the blog. It's designed to help search engines know that this should rank very high for auto repair. So if we were to go over and search for auto body repair, okay, so I'm searching on Google now. So do you see those results that just came up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's going to happen here is, and I haven't tried this out yet to see if Cascade Collision shows up. Okay, so they're not showing up yet. And it's probably because when we look at their page, they have one piece of content on auto body repair on their site. Okay, and so the more pieces of content that you can put on your site that reinforce keywords, the higher your visibility is online. And it also depends on your competitors too, of how many resources are they devoting to SEO as well. Okay, so those are the main areas that we focus on a SEO strategy. So this is why it's becoming SEO is becoming so much more part of our emphasis, because we have great writers. And the more content you can get out on a website, the more you can be searchable. Now let me show you what it means to go off-site. And any questions, by the way, as I've been going through this one?
So when we're writing our blogs for our categories, Jeremiah, is it helpful to the editors if we're automatically thinking in these terms and planting their keywords in there for them?
Really good question. And only if you're writing for an SEO account. And here's the way that our business model is set up is we take our blog content and we scale it to numerous customers. So if we scale it to numerous customers and they're all receiving the same blog with the same keywords, it's not going to help them. You need to have a unique piece of content for a unique website that reinforces their own keywords as opposed to trying to scale that strategy.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So this is on-site optimization. If we come over to trying to help someone off-site, then what happens is we're wanting to help them be found in a lot of different places. So, and I see a lot of companies use this, Wikipedia, like, let's say we're searching for auto repair and on Wikipedia, okay? Now, if I pop this open, notice that there's a lot of hyperlinks, okay, that will go to dealerships or other pages. But now down here at the bottom, we have Pro First certification that's a reference, or this independent garages and motor vehicles. There are going to be references or citations down at the bottom of these stories. Now, I bring up Wikipedia just because it's very easy to find them, okay? And I can come down and you'll see just a ton of these. They're all hyperlinked. They're just leading back to different websites as a third-party citation or link. But you can also go to other places. I mean, even something as simple as going to the New York Times, having your business listed in, well, you know what, I'm not going to use the New York Times because I'm not paying for a subscription right now, and I only get 10 articles a month. So I'm not going to pull up a subscription on there. All right. And sorry, Derek, that I'm such a cheapskate when it comes to my reading of the New York Times. Okay, so like let's say I went into this newspaper. Here we go. Down at the bottom, there's going to be comments so comments down in the newspaper. Post a comment. Well, newspapers aren't as good of an example simply because they tend to be very curated, and I mean intentionally so, that we want legitimate comments that build to the dialogue and not necessarily promote a brand. But let's say it's on an automotive magazine, or it's on a business website, or even if it's on a business board on a newspaper, getting a comment with a link back to the website or a citation back to that website, those are real valuable tools for building your offsite optimization. You can also on press releases that go out, press releases are often picked up by the business section of a lot of newspapers, and they're just archived. They don't show up publicly on the site, but they're archived. The San Francisco Chronicle is classic for this. They build up a massive archive of press releases that go out. It helps a ton of businesses. It also helps the San Francisco Chronicle, with their SEO. But so that's when we get into that offsite optimization that we come into this. Questions on that by chance?
I have one general question about the words they use, the keywords. Is that something that's set before? Like, would it matter if you put automotive repair instead of auto body repair? Like, how is that, or how specific is that?
Yeah, it's very specific. So it would definitely matter if you changed the keywords at all. And so when we look at, you saw on our rate card, it said 1 to 3 keywords. A keyword might be auto body repair and automotive repair. Okay, those would be two separate, what they call long tail keywords, because it has multiple words in there. But there are multiple keywords because search engines, they're not intuitive that way. They just search for that one keyword. Yeah. So yeah, very important. And Will, maybe if you're on here, when we look at keywords, I think most of the time the customer has some of those in mind. Well, I don't know. Will, can you help me out there with what, how much the customer typically participates?
Yeah, absolutely. No, the customer will give us an idea of what keywords they want, but we do an analysis on the back end. We have tools that allow us to determine what would be the best keywords for them. There are web tools you use, specific pieces of software you can use to do that. But essentially, I'd say it's half and half. We do take what they say and we evaluate it against the competition, as you were saying. Certain keywords will be more competitive if you're looking for a search in a small town as opposed to a really large metro area. You have to take into account the competition for the keywords out there. So, sorry, long-winded of saying we do take it from the customer, yes, but we also do our own analysis on the back end.
I think that was my real question, was how do you decide which one? So if we were to be given a client, we would just be told this is the keyword.
Correct. But we still ask them because, we do want to get their idea of what they may already know. But, a lot of these customers too don't even, you ask them what the keyword is, they wouldn't even know. So yeah, we have tools we use for that.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Cool. All right, and I'll just show you one other thing, and then we'll wrap up here because time is short. But so I've been talking about on-site and off-site optimization, which are ways that we do it for those organic listings. Okay, one thing we haven't showed you is what we do for that local. We did mention that we get them listed in 100+ online directories, but I want to show you how that happens. Because we have a system in place that is connected to all of those directories through they call it an API. It means we can just feed content directly into those sites. Let me search here. Okay. So this is an orthopedics, like a foot and ankle doctor. Okay. So I'm going to pull up his dashboard. Are you seeing anything on the screen yet? Okay.
No.
All right, let's try this again. Okay, is it, do you see it up on the screen now?
I see.
So this is a foot and ankle doctor, and this is the system we use to publish his content. Now I'm actually gonna go in reverse order and go all the way to the bottom, and you'll see that he has a place where his business information is listed. Now, they can manage this. It includes their address and phone number and website and keywords, hours of operation, all of these things. This is that key nugget of information that we push out through our system to all of those directories that we have relationships with. And you'll see some of those over here on their dashboard, like Bing, Yahoo, White Pages, Switchboard, City Maps. And they can go through and they can click on these and they can see them in a live environment, okay? But it's all based upon this information that is listed. Okay, we pushed out through here. Now, as we come up, you'll see first now, you'll see where we log the number of times that their directories are viewed. So in this one, we don't have a Google, we're not pulling from Google at this point, but from Yahoo, Bing, and these other sync directories, we've had 1,985 views of those directory listings over the last 12 months, and they're tied into 159 directories. So a customer can go in and see how many views their business is getting on those directories because we have pushed that information out to all of those places. Now, if I were only listed on Google, look at how many views I would have missed. I mean, a ton, okay? And chances are, I mean, the one thing we see all the time is the vast majority are on Google, so these numbers are probably much, 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 much higher. And then up here, we are able to track where inbound calls are coming from, because as we push this information out to all those directories, we give it a special phone number that allows us to track any leads that are generated and where those leads are coming from. So we can see here that, okay, Carter, or let's see, Keith Carter or Janine Fontaine called in and they spent 3 minutes on the phone. Where they're from, this allows us to really tell the customer what we are doing from a lead generation standpoint for them on their behalf. So this is the local side of what we do, largely technological, less about some of the hands-on work that we do for customers. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna switch my screen one more time and just do a quick roundup, and I'll answer any questions that you have. If I can come back here. Okay. All right, let's try that. Okay, so last of all, so if we search for collision repair again, so just as a recap, we have paid placement on top. Derek and his team. Oh, I guess no, it's Jennifer and Will. Their team handles that one in terms of Google AdWords. We have local. This is handled through that dashboard I just showed you. Largely technological. We send it out to 100 plus directories to get them listed. There's no crazy mysterious stuff associated with this one. It's the difficult part of, if you are a business, how in the world do you possibly go out and populate all of that information in all of those directories manually? There's no way, but we can do it technologically at a very low cost. And then we come down in the organic listings, and these are done through the on-site optimization of making sure your metadata is up to date, of making sure content is keyword optimized, and that the text and the headlines align with each other. Okay, that's on-site optimization. Off-site is getting those third-party citations or your links out there on different websites. I showed you some really easy ones that you can get on without much of a review process. There are some that we need to actually reach out to the website owners and request to be listed there. Okay, so there's a manual process that goes into that with the off-site optimization. So with that, let me throw it over with Will. Will, because I know you're the SEO guru. I'm pretending the best I can. But Will, is there anything that I've missed that would be good to add, or things to clarify that I got totally wrong?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much covered everything that we do. I mean, of course, there's minutia type things, but the overall big picture, I'd say, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, other questions before we wrap this one up?
I think so.
No. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it, and thank you so much for joining. It was awesome day. I think there was some good information that came. Hopefully, you enjoyed spending the day doing some workshops instead of the day-to-day grind of writing content and making the wheels turn for the company. So thank you so much for all of you do. Okay, well, we'll sign off.
Have a great week. Have a great week. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yeah, see you later.
Thanks, Jeremiah. You really made my day.
Oh, good. Thanks, Sue.